welcome to another horror review Sunday, or horrific review Sunday. So, this is coming out, this is going to be released way after the date, the 30th of September. So I just watched two movies today, and we got two to discuss, and these will not be released back to back, I don't know. So, trying to do at least one horror movie review a week, and this week we are talking about The Legend of Halloween Jack, unfortunately. And then we will talk about Stage Fright right after this. So, both not that good. So let's talk about Halloween Jack, which just came out, like, what, last year? I remember seeing this at, like, the Walmart bin for, like, $10. Didn't gamble on it. I was like, I'm not going to spend a single dollar. But this was on Vudu, V-U-D-U. Not Voodoo like Charles Lee Ray. Just Vudu. It's an app. You can watch movies for free. I'm not sure how long that lasts, if it's like a trial, I don't know. But I got this thing, I've been watching all kinds of movies for free, and this is one of them, in Stage Fright. So, let's talk about this low-budget British film, Halloween Jack. What is it about? It's about a man who is wrongly, actually not convicted, this guy who's wrongly accused of a murder, and the police in town take justice into their own hands, and they murder him, and then a year later, one of the officers commits suicide, and that resurrects the dead guy, Jack, back from the grave to exact revenge on the other officers who killed him. And that's the story. Now, what do I like about this fucking movie? Jack, his costume, I thought that was an interesting costume. It's kind of creepy. I think it's just scarecrows. Scarecrows, to me, growing up, they were always creepy to me. There's just something about them, so I really like. That's why Harold is like my favorite story from those scary storybooks. It was my favorite segment in that movie that just came out. Scarecrows, just like dolls. That's like the thing that always scared me growing up, was scarecrows and like dolls, things that shouldn't move or talk but do, just things like that. So right up front, I'm like sold on the movie. I was like, all right, scarecrow looking thing, I'm on board. And the outfit, the design, I like it. It's got like that red smiley face thing going on, and the guy Jack, he's a smooth talker. He before he dies, and then when he comes back to life, unfortunately he still talks, and it sounds like just a very generic evil demon voice that anyone could like edit and like do on like Adobe Premiere. It sounds awful. Trick or treat. And I like that the cop kills himself. I don't like that it resurrects the guy. I thought that was just dumb and stupid, but it's realistic. I think it's a realistic response that the guilt made him kill himself a year later, PTSD over his actions. Probably thought the guy was innocent and he didn't want to shoot him in the first place, but he was kind of pressured to do so. And there was one scene that kind of made me laugh, and it was when this guy, it's the cliche, like, I'm banging my boss's daughter. How do I tell him? That stupid shit. And he's on the phone with the boss's daughter, and then the boss like pops up behind him, like, who are you talking to? That whole situation, even though it's been done to death, like, just a million times, it kind of made me chuckle. Now, going into the negatives, there will be no award givings, no awards. There's no favorite kill. And you know why? Because this movie is fucking watered down as hell. This is like, what year is this? 1996? Like, this is like a 1990s, early 2000s horror movie with no soul. No fucking charm to it at all. No atmosphere. It's like no good shots. They use fog, cliche as hell. It's just dumb. It doesn't even feel like Halloween either. Why is it Halloween? Why is it gotta be Halloween? Sam Hain or Salmon. Ooh, yes. We've heard that story before. So this movie opens up with the court case, and I wonder how much it cost them to rent that courtroom out, or unless they built it. I doubt it. It looks like it was a real set. Like, not a set, like a real place. So we got this guy, he's like, so this guy stabbed these people like 18 times in the face, the palms, and then it like shows you like their bodies in the car, and they're both in like the passenger seat and the driver's seat. And he's talking about like how they were stabbed in the aorta, and then he's like actually explaining to everybody in the room what the aorta is, and it's like, we don't need to know. And the only people at this court case, which seems like it would be a big like trial that a lot of people would attend, there would be a jury. There's no jury, and it's like the judge already knows what his sentence is going to be, which is free, not guilty, because guess what? Cop didn't read him his Miranda rights, so therefore he's set free. So why waste anybody's time if you already know the outcome going into it? Like, well, it doesn't matter what the fuck you say. He could say right now out loud, like, yeah, I probably did it. I did it. Doesn't matter. You didn't read him his rights, and therefore he just gets to leave. It's stupid. But going back to what I was trying to say earlier, they show you the bodies in the car, and there's like hardly any blood on them, and there's no blood in the spots where they say there should be, like the chest, the aorta. Where's the fucking blood? I don't see any. And then it's like, what, did he stab them in the car? Like, or did he place their bodies in the car? Because that makes no sense. Did he, like, stab one guy in the passenger seat a bunch of times, and then the chick never left the car, so he ran around and then stabbed her a bunch of times? And it's like, why didn't she leave? That's just stupid. And then, like, apparently one of these people, these cops, are, like, the father of these two kids at the beginning, and it's like, they're very young. Like, these are old teenage kids, and these cops look like they're fucking, like, 30 or something. Like, how the hell do they have, like, 18-year-old kids? It makes no sense. CGI blood, like, the only moment of real blood in this movie is CGI blood when they're, like, killing Jack, taking justice into their own hands, and they put him on a cross and then, like, a scarecrow, and they start shooting him with, like, their fucking, like, 1800s rifles, like, these deer rifles. They're very old, and it's, like, CGI, like, misty blood coming out of his chest, and it just looks awful. And then every single kill in this movie is off screen or just fucking like, he kills a few people who had nothing to do with the injustice that was done on him. So that made no sense. But yeah, it's like he grabs a sickle and he kills a random person off screen. Blood splats on the wall. Goes up to the person, hits him over the head. It cuts away. Blood splats on the table. Goes up to this asshole, slits his throat. Camera's above it. It's below frame. Guy gets stabbed with pitchfork. Below frame. You don't see it. It's just awful. Why are you even going to waste your time, energy, and money making a movie about people dying and getting killed by a vengeful ghost if you're not going to show us the money shot? It's like, yeah, let's just make a movie that's a comedy, and every time someone's about to say a joke, they just shut up and they don't say it. That's basically what this movie is. It's jokes that aren't actually being said. It's like, knock, knock, who's there? I can't tell you. I just can't. And then there's long, boring dialogue scenes. There's literally, like, so many scenes that I could just take out of this movie and it wouldn't affect the story at all. There's characters talking about bullshit, and it's like, where's this going? Nowhere. This character's pregnant. Whoop-de shit. It goes nowhere. And then there's odd musical choices. You got this mayor who was in on the injustice. He was part of the mob. He goes to the person who killed himself's, like, mom's house to talk to the mom and console her. And he asks her for biscuits, aka cookies in Great Britain. And then he just kills her because he thinks that she's a loose end and maybe she knows. And it's like, if she knows, A, she's probably on your side, and B, she hasn't told anybody yet. It's been a fucking year. So I think you're in the clear. But he kills her, and guess what? Next scene, he's dead, so that helped him none at all. You got Moonlight Sonata playing, just dumb musical choices. No good score at all. Oh my gosh, the gun sound effects when there's, like, I get it, it's a low-budget movie. But there's a big library of sounds that you can use for your movie. Like, you can go to YouTube and find a gun sound that sounds way better than what the fuck these people were using for this film. And the fact that these cops didn't have guns, I get it, Great Britain, they're probably very anti-gun. Cops only have clubs on the streets, but seriously, these cops, this guy was supposed to be like the chief of police, this guy's a mayor, these people should have guns, but instead he has to go to some rainbow stripe overall, like, suspender wearing, like, shirtless guy who's just selling guns to the cop who he knows is a cop, and it's just a weird scene. It's like, you gotta buy guns as a cop. You should already have a pistol. Makes no sense. What else? Yeah, just like, okay, there's comedy in this movie and it falls flat. All the comedy falls flat. Except for that one little chuckle I had. There's literally, and this goes with what I said earlier, scenes that make no sense or are just unnecessary and they're just padding out the runtime. It's like, we need to make this movie last that golden, like, minute. You know, we gotta have that 90-minute mark, otherwise it's not a movie. Bullshit. Look at Chopping Mall, alright? Good example. Hour and 10 minutes. It doesn't need to be longer. It knows how to fucking end. It knows how to flow. This movie does not. So we got this scene where this guy's literally telling like a 3 to 5 minute joke about how he was in Mexico or somewhere with his buddy. And this guy has nothing to do with the story and the revenge and nothing. Like, this is just a throwaway character. And he's talking to one of the guys who was the mob. And he's like, my friend was really drunk and I stuck a condom or a pin up his ass. And when he woke up, I told him he got fucked in the ass by a guy. And I didn't tell him the truth for 6 months. So for 6 months, he thought he was gay one night when he was drunk. Ha ha ha. And then the guy's like, well, you're the gay one for messing with your best friend's ass. Which I tend to agree. It reminds me of that South Park episode where Cartman sticks Butters' dick in his mouth. And he's like, look how gay Butters is. It's like, you're gay because you stuck his dick in your mouth. And he was unconscious. He didn't even know about it. It's just stupid. So yeah, the gun sound effects, pop, 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 pop. It's fucking awful. And then even like choreography, like there's a panic at this club and the killer just reveals himself. And I like the fact that he's even there just sets a panic. It's like, oh my gosh, there's a guy in a costume. We're all in costumes. It's a fucking Halloween party. Everybody's wearing costumes, but the fact that this guy just looks like the creepiest costume, they automatically, it just registers like, this guy ain't legit, man. This guy is something else. We all need to leave. And they just all in sync just start panicking. And instead of just heading for the door, they're like running in circles. There's lots of like just feet shots, and that's supposed to like sell me the idea that this is a real panic and it's authentic. No, it feels fake. It's horribly choreographed, horribly shot. I do not feel like there's a real panic happening at this club. So what else sucks? The cop kills Jack's friend after learning how he came back. Yeah, so we learned the lore of this guy. We learned that it was the blood of the guy who shot himself that brought the Jack back. Yeah, we kind of figured that already. So we didn't... Another thing, like this lore that we get, it could have been wrapped up within 30 fucking seconds or maybe a minute. But dude, this guy goes on for almost 5 minutes. And I'll admit that the first 30 seconds or so, the way he spoke, he was a smooth talker like his buddy Jack. I was kind of interested in what he was saying, just the way he was delivering his lines. But then they just wear it thin. They just keep talking and talking and talking. And by the end of it, the fucking cop just kills him. And then they just rip off Halloween 2. Like, he meets Jack finally face to face. And I was just waiting for him to be like, it's time, Michael. And then like the match. And then the whole place blows up. That's what happened. Like, he meets Jack, gets the like gas can, like, or the oxygen thing, like lets all the gas in the air, and he just lights a match, boom, place blows up. So they rip off that movie, and then when I thought it should be over, it's still playing, and we get this. So I'm like, oh, there's something else. There's a twist, there's a final scare, and that's exactly what happens. This chick who's pregnant, it's like 1 year later. Do we see her kid? Do we see like the progress? Like, what's her relationship like with that guy who was working with the other guy? Like, we don't know. But she's at the fucking cemetery visiting her dad, and it's all in slow-mo, and it's all with this weird score, this weird song. It's stupid as hell. All the musical choices are awful. She's at the cemetery, and it's, like I said, it's all in slow-mo, so it's dragging again. It's like another 3 to 5 minutes of bullshit, and then and this whole time, I'm in my head thinking, like, don't do it. Don't do it. They're gonna do it. Final scare. Are they gonna rip off Carrie? Is there gonna be like a hand coming out of the grave? They're gonna fucking do it, aren't they? And then boom! Hand comes right out of the grave. She goes to fucking Jack's grave, the killer, who was wrongly convicted, but then what became a killer after he came back to life. Whatever, that's neither here nor there. Hand comes out of the grave. Boom! Final scare, it's over. Fuck you. Like, this movie was going to be like wasted time, but that was the nail in the coffin. Fuck this movie. When it comes to Legend of Halloween Jack, there's one thing I'd rather do, and that is to blow my brains out. Yeah, that gun sound was a lot better than any gun sound you heard in this fucking movie. Jesus, don't watch it. Those are my thoughts on Halloween Jack. Have you seen this movie? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. I'd be interested to see if anybody can defend this movie. What's so great about it? I don't know, but hey, to each their own. Maybe you like it, but let me know what you thought about it, and look out for my next review, which will be Stage Fright. I'm going to be talking about that right after. It's down there. I know it's all white because of the lights. You can't see it, whatever. But Stage Fright, that's next. Probably next week or whenever I release it. Just look out for it. The original 1986 film. So, yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hit this like button if you like what you have seen here, and you can become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.